On a distant planet at the edge of the galaxy, the ground shook violently under the impact of alien artillery fire, and smoke filled the air like a thick blanket, making it hard to see or breathe. The alien armies were ruthless, disciplined, and unstoppable, their ranks moving like a single machine, crushing every resistance in their path. Worlds had fallen before them, entire civilizations wiped out in hours. Yet in one small valley, a squad of human soldiers stood their ground, ragged, tired, and bloodied. But unbroken explosions rocked the valley, sending dirt and debris flying. Soldiers around them screamed and fell one by one from injury, fear, or shock. But the humans held firm. Captain Jason Kane stepped forward, his armor scratched and dented, his face streaked with sweat and dirt, his eyes burning with determination. He looked at his team and shouted words of courage, words that cut through the chaos and inspired a spark of hope. The aliens watched from above, their ships hovering in perfect formation, their weapons aimed, ready to destroy the humans. Instantly they laughed and mocked, expecting the humans to die without a fight. But Kane did not flinch. He moved through the smoke, rallying his soldiers, encouraging them to reload their weapons, to take cover, and to stay alert, to watch each other's backs. And despite the overwhelming odds, despite the sound of screaming and the roar of explosions, the humans responded with disciplined action. They fired in coordinated bursts, moved from cover to cover, and kept their formation tight, even as the ground trembled beneath them and the air filled with the smell of burning metal and blood. And the aliens could not understand it. They had never seen a species continue to fight when surrounded, hopeless and outnumbered. They were puzzled, their weapons trained on targets that should have fallen already. Yet these humans kept moving, kept thinking, kept resisting, and Kane noticed every detail of the battlefield, the direction of enemy fire, the safest paths between craters, the moments when the aliens paused and took aim, and he directed his team accordingly, never panicking, never giving in. And the suspense in the valley was unbearable. Every heartbeat mattered. Every step could be the difference between life and death. The humans felt the fear, but they also felt a strange energy, a kind of stubborn courage that pushed them forward even as their bodies screamed for rest, their minds focused on one thing: surviving another minute, another second, and protecting each other. And Kane called out again, encouraging a young soldier to cover a flank while he provided suppressing fire. The aliens adjusted their formations, expecting chaos, expecting surrender, but found order instead. Humans working together, adapting, thinking faster than expected, their movements unpredictable yet perfectly timed, and the valley echoed with the sound of gunfire, explosions, and shouted commands. Yet through it all, Kane maintained control. He encouraged his team, checked on the wounded, and reminded them to stay sharp. The aliens could not understand how such fragile beings could endure so much and still fight so effectively, and the audience watching would have wondered what gave humans this unexplainable endurance, what drove them to keep going when every sign indicated they should collapse and die. What secret strength did they possess that no other species seemed to have? It was not just courage, it was not just training, it was something deeper, a refusal to give up, a belief in each other, a stubbornness that defied logic. And Kane could feel it in his team, a collective will that grew stronger as the aliens attacked more fiercely, and even as the heat from explosions singed their armor and debris rained down on them, they did not falter. They adapted, changed positions, covered each other, and found creative ways to use the terrain to their advantage despite being outnumbered and outgunned. And each small victory, no matter how temporary, strengthened their resolve. The aliens fired with precision, thinking their targets would fall, and yet every move the humans made surprised them. The aliens paused, confused, trying to analyze why these humans would not break and retreat, and Kane led a charge that pushed back a small squad of alien infantry, providing a brief respite for his team to regroup and reload. And the suspense built even higher as the valley seemed alive with tension, explosions still shaking the ground, smoke blinding the eye, and yet humans moving calmly, controlled, and relentless, refusing to surrender, refusing to give in. And Captain Kane knew that this was the moment that defined them, not just as soldiers, but as humans. The aliens might control fleets, planets, and weapons, but they could not control the spirit, the secret endurance of a species that refused to die even when all seemed lost. And the audience could feel it too, the tension, the fear, the courage, and the mystery of why humans kept fighting when defeat seemed certain. And as Kane looked over his team, he saw determination in their eyes. Even in exhaustion, they were ready to fight again and again. And the aliens hovering above began to realize that this was something no amount of force could easily crush, something far beyond their comprehension. And the valley, filled with smoke, fire, and noise held a quiet tension, a suspense that begged the question: what made these humans so different? What gave them the ability to stand when all others had fallen? And Captain Kane knew the answer, even if the aliens did not. It was hope, courage, loyalty, and an unyielding will to survive, and that secret would keep them alive long after everyone else had surrendered. Leaving the aliens puzzled the audience on edge, and the humans ready for the next wave of battle, knowing they could endure anything because they refused to stop fighting. The alien forces pressed harder, their weapons cutting through the smoke and debris, expecting the humans to falter under the relentless fire. Yet Captain Jason Kane and his team moved with a strange resilience the aliens could not predict, dodging blasts, creating barriers from fallen machinery, and returning fire with precision despite their exhaustion and injuries. And every time a human fell, another stepped in seamlessly, covering their position, carrying the wounded, or improvising new tactics that confused the enemy. And the suspense grew as the aliens realized their advanced technology and disciplined ranks were not enough to break these humans, for the soldiers adapted faster than expected, moving unpredictably, finding blind spots in the alien formation, exploiting terrain that seemed useless, and striking when least expected. And Kane's voice rang out over the chaos, encouraging his squad to stay alert, to watch each other, to never give up, and to fight with every ounce of strength they had. And the humans followed orders and instinctively helped one another, their loyalty and courage shining through, each movement precise yet inspired by a determination no alien could understand. And as the battle raged, the aliens began to notice patterns that they had never seen before, humans predicting attacks, countering strategies, and using creative solutions that defied logic. And some alien commanders whispered among themselves in disbelief, questioning centuries of assumptions that they were the superior species. And Kane pushed forward through the smoke, helping a young soldier reload, guiding another to safety, shouting encouragement and strategy at the same time, keeping his team coordinated and focused. And the humans' unexpected resilience forced the aliens to rethink every move, hesitation replacing confidence, and the suspense intensified because every second could bring a critical shift, a mistake, or a breakthrough. And despite the fear, the noise, and the fire, the humans did not waver. They continued fighting as if driven by something beyond reason, something the aliens could not predict. And Kane's team began to turn the tide in small ways, capturing strategic points, creating barriers, rescuing fallen comrades, and slowly the aliens' advance faltered, their formations disrupted, their confidence shaken, and the audience watching could feel the tension, the excitement, and the awe at how humans could continue to fight with ingenuity, endurance, and loyalty, turning hopeless situations into opportunities for survival. And even as explosions rattled the valley, smoke obscured the battlefield, and fire consumed debris, the humans pressed on, refusing to surrender, each action precise and courageous, proving that endurance was not just physical but mental, a combination of instinct, courage, and unbreakable will. And the suspense reached its peak as the alien commanders realized that no amount of force alone could defeat the species, that humans had an unexplainable ability to adapt, survive, and fight back, leaving the aliens confused and cautious, and the audience gripped by the suspense of what would happen next, knowing that the humans' unexpected resilience could change the course of the battle and possibly the fate of the planet itself. And Captain Kane, seeing the effect his team was having, continued to push them forward, rallying the wounded, encouraging the exhausted, and inspiring a determination so strong that the aliens could not predict or counter. And the suspense hung in the air like the smoke of the battlefield, every viewer wondering how humans could keep fighting, what secret strength allowed them to endure, and what would happen if they continued to defy the odds and turn the battle in their favor. The humans had been fighting for hours, their bodies battered and tired, yet their spirit remained unbroken, and Captain Jason Kane moved among his soldiers, encouraging them, checking on the wounded, and coordinating attacks with a clarity that inspired even the most exhausted, while the alien forces pressed relentlessly, expecting that any moment the humans would collapse. Yet every move they made was met with unexpected resistance, improvisation, and loyalty, and the suspense grew as alien commanders watched, baffled, Unable to understand why this small group of humans could endure so much, adapting instantly to every attack, rescuing each other under fire, and using the terrain with creative genius that defied centuries of military logic, and Cain led by example, his armor scratched and bloodied, yet his eyes burned with determination, scanning the battlefield for opportunities, exploiting weaknesses the aliens had overlooked, and inspiring his team to continue fighting when all reason told them to surrender, and the humans' hidden strength became more visible, a combination of endurance, courage, and teamwork that made them unpredictable and deadly. While the aliens tried to anticipate their moves, they found themselves confounded at every turn, their strategy disrupted, their weapons less effective, and their confidence shaken, and the suspense tightened as small victories began to accumulate. Humans reclaiming key positions, holding the line longer than anyone thought possible, and every act of bravery, every rescue of a wounded comrade, and every clever maneuver reminded the audience that human strength was not just physical but also mental and emotional, a determination to survive and protect each other that no alien force had ever seen. And Cain's voice carried over the battlefield, rallying his soldiers to keep moving, to adapt, to never give up, while alien soldiers hesitated, confused by the humans' ability to continue fighting despite injuries, exhaustion, and hopeless odds, and whispers spread among alien ranks about the strange endurance of this species, the hidden strength that seemed to fuel every action, and the suspense escalated as the humans executed a daring counterattack, flanking an alien squad that had assumed dominance, striking with precision and unity that stunned even Cain's own team. And the aliens realized that these humans did not rely solely on weapons or numbers, but on coordination, instinct, and loyalty, each soldier covering the other, improvising when plans failed, and pushing forward with courage that seemed almost supernatural. And the audience felt the tension as each second brought the potential for victory or disaster, for the humans were exhausted, and yet every setback seemed to make them stronger, more determined, and more unpredictable, defying every expectation. And Cain's leadership was critical, his understanding of his team, his battlefield, and the enemy, allowing him to exploit weaknesses that others would have missed, keeping the suspense high, the aliens bewildered, and the audience on edge, for no one had ever seen a species fight like this, enduring, adapting, protecting one another, and refusing to surrender even when death seemed certain. And as explosions shook the valley, smoke and fire rising in all directions, the humans continued to advance strategically, rescuing comrades, using debris as cover, and turning desperation into opportunity. And the aliens could not comprehend how a species so physically fragile could continue to resist, to innovate, to inspire fear and respect in a far superior army. And the suspense gripped every observer, for it was becoming clear that the battle was not merely about weapons or numbers, but about something deeper, a hidden human strength that could not be measured. And every move, every courageous act, every moment of endurance added to the tension, leaving viewers on edge, wondering how far humans could go, how long they could keep fighting, and what would happen if this hidden strength proved greater than the alien might. And Cain, seeing the effect of his leadership and the unwavering resolve of his soldiers, pressed on, pushing them to fight harder, move faster, and survive longer. And the suspense remained electric, for the aliens had underestimated humanity, and the humans' hidden strength was about to change the course of the battle in ways no one could have predicted. Captain Jason Cain and his team had been holding the line for hours, battered and exhausted, yet their determination never wavered, and slowly the tide of the battle began to shift, small victories stacking upon each other as the humans used clever tactics, hidden terrain advantages, and quick improvisation to outmaneuver the alien forces. And the suspense grew with every passing moment, for the aliens, confident just minutes ago, now found their formations broken, their movements disrupted, and their strategy failing in ways they could not anticipate, while Cain moved like a shadow across the battlefield, directing soldiers, covering retreats, organizing attacks, and inspiring each human to push beyond their limits, using their collective courage as a weapon more powerful than any laser or artillery. And the humans' unity and loyalty became evident as every fallen comrade was rescued, every position defended, every opportunity seized, creating a ripple of confusion and fear among the aliens, who had assumed victory was inevitable, and whispers of disbelief spread among the alien ranks, commanders consulting each other, realizing that these humans were nothing like the species they had conquered before, and the suspense was electric as Kane led a daring counterattack, flanking an alien squad and reclaiming a strategic ridge, each movement precise yet fueled by human resilience and courage. And every recovered position inspired the soldiers behind him to fight harder, to push forward even when exhaustion threatened to overwhelm them, while the aliens fired relentlessly, trying to regain control, yet every plan they devised was anticipated, countered, or disrupted by the humans' unpredictable yet coordinated tactics, and Kane's leadership became the focal point of the battle, his calm presence and sharp mind allowing the team to exploit weaknesses the aliens did not even know existed. And the audience watching could feel the suspense tighten with each maneuver, knowing that the humans were beginning to change the flow of battle despite being outnumbered and outgunned, and every act of courage, every clever use of terrain, and every rescue of a comrade amplified the tension, showing that the secret strength of humans was not just endurance but strategy, loyalty, and adaptability, a combination that no alien force had ever encountered. And as explosions shook the valley, fires raged around them, and smoke choked the air, the humans pressed on, refusing to surrender, moving with determination and focus, turning near defeat into opportunity, and the aliens, now confused and hesitant, began to falter under the relentless human resistance, their confidence shaken, their strategies failing, and Kane seized the moment, rallying his team to push forward, each soldier inspired by the courage and leadership surrounding them. And the suspense reached its peak as the humans' unexpected strength began to force the aliens back, not through superior technology, but through unbreakable will, coordination, and the refusal to give in, and the audience was left on edge, watching as a small human squad outmaneuvered an empire's forces, proving that courage, loyalty, and ingenuity could be more powerful than firepower, and the suspense lingered, for every move now carried the weight of potential victory or catastrophe, and as Kane surveyed the battlefield, he knew that if his team maintained focus, adapted to every challenge, and continued to trust each other, they could turn the tide completely, leaving the aliens shocked, confused, and forced to reconsider their approach, and the suspense remained unbearable, leaving viewers glued to every action, wondering how far humans could push their strength, endurance, and courage, and what would happen if this momentum continued to build, threatening to change the outcome of a battle that no one thought humans could survive. And in the midst of chaos, smoke, and fire, Kane's leadership shone like a beacon, guiding humans forward, turning near defeat into hope, and proving that the galaxy had underestimated the secret power of humanity. The humans' unexpected victories began to mount, each small success feeding the courage and determination of Captain Jason Kane's squad, and the aliens watched in disbelief as their disciplined ranks faltered under attacks they could not predict, their confidence shaken by the unpredictable movements, clever traps, and relentless endurance of the humans, and the suspense grew as Kane led a daring maneuver, striking at a key supply line while coordinating his team to defend their own positions. Every action timed perfectly despite exhaustion, injuries, and the chaos of the battlefield, and the humans moved as one, covering each other, improvising when plans failed, and turning every obstacle into an advantage, while the aliens, expecting surrender or retreat, were thrown into confusion, their calculations useless against the humans' adaptability and courage, and Kane continued to inspire his team, checking on the wounded, shouting encouragement, and directing attacks with precision that no one thought possible under such pressure, and the suspense intensified as each regained position, each captured weapon, and each successful flanking attack showed that humans were more than survivors. They were strategic, relentless, and terrifying in ways the aliens had never imagined, and the audience could feel the tension rising as the alien forces struggled to regroup, hesitant to advance, and uncertain how to respond to an enemy that refused to break, adaptively countered every move, and fought with a unity and determination that seemed unbreakable, and whispers spread among alien commanders about the strange resilience and creativity of the human soldiers, their endurance seemingly limitless, their loyalty to each other unshakable, and the suspense deepened as Kane led a charge that disrupted the alien lines, forcing them to retreat temporarily, the valley echoing with explosions, gunfire, and the shouts of humans undeterred by danger, and the aliens realized that their previous understanding of strength and power was flawed, for humans relied not only on weapons or technology but on courage, instinct, adaptability, and a refusal to surrender, and every second the humans continued to fight, the more the aliens' fear grew, for they had never encountered a species that could endure such punishment, think so creatively under pressure, and maintain unity even when surrounded, and Kane, seeing the effect on both his team and the enemy, pushed the humans to fight harder, to take advantage of every opening, to continue resisting even when every sign pointed to defeat, and the suspense for the audience was electrifying. Watching humans turn hopeless situations into opportunities, recovering fallen comrades, reclaiming lost positions, and exploiting alien weaknesses with ingenuity and bravery. And the valley seemed alive with energy as the human spirit inspired them to act beyond their limits, moving with precision and creativity that confounded the aliens, and the suspense reached a peak as Kane coordinated a final strike on a key alien command post in the valley, risking everything, knowing that success could change the course of the battle while failure might mean annihilation, and the audience watched with bated breath as humans, ragged and bloodied, executed each move flawlessly, forcing the aliens to reconsider every assumption they had ever held about strength, endurance, and the human species, and as explosions shook the ground and smoke filled the air, the humans' relentless drive became a symbol of hope, courage, and ingenuity, leaving viewers on edge, wondering how far humans could push their endurance, how many victories they could achieve against impossible odds, and what ultimate consequences their determination would have for the battlefield, the aliens, and the entire war. And Captain Kane's leadership, courage, and tactical brilliance proved to all that humans could turn near defeat into triumph, inspiring both his soldiers and the audience, with the shocking realization that the human spirit was far stronger and more frightening than any enemy had expected, and the suspense lingered, for the outcome of the battle now rested not on numbers or technology, but on the unyielding resolve, creativity, and unity of humans who refused to surrender when all others had fallen. The battle had raged for hours, smoke and fire filling the valley, the ground scarred with craters and debris, yet Captain Jason Kane's humans stood unbroken, battered but undeterred, their courage and unity shining brighter than any weapon, and as Kane surveyed the battlefield, he saw the alien forces faltering, their formations breaking, their confidence shattered, and he knew the moment had come to press the advantage, rallying his team for one final push, every soldier responding with fierce determination despite exhaustion, injuries, and the overwhelming odds, and the suspense gripped the audience as humans advanced strategically, covering each other, exploiting every weakness, and using creativity and instinct to outmaneuver an enemy far superior in numbers and firepower, while the aliens scrambled to regroup, confused and fearful, realizing that their centuries of conquest and technological superiority meant nothing against humans' unyielding spirit, and Kane's leadership became the keystone of the victory, coordinating attacks, encouraging the wounded, and inspiring his soldiers to fight harder, move faster, and survive longer, turning what should have been despair into hope, and the suspense intensified as the humans executed a daring assault on the alien command hub, breaching defenses, reclaiming territory, and forcing the alien commanders to retreat in shock, unable to comprehend how a species so physically fragile could dominate the battlefield through courage, loyalty, and ingenuity, and every act of bravery, every clever maneuver, and every rescued comrade reinforced the secret strength of humanity, showing that endurance, teamwork, and determination could achieve what technology and numbers could not, and the audience watched in awe as humans continued to fight when all others had fallen, their relentless spirit reshaping the flow of battle. and the aliens began to spread word across the galaxy of a species that refused to surrender, that adapted, endured, and innovated under pressure, and the suspense remained high, for the impact of this battle would echo beyond the valley, changing strategies, expectations, and the way every civilization viewed humans, and Kane led his team to secure the final positions, each movement precise yet fueled by the human will to survive, inspiring not only his soldiers but also fear and respect in the alien ranks. And as the last shots were fired, smoke began to clear, revealing humans standing tall amid the chaos, victorious against impossible odds, and the suspense transformed into awe, for the galaxy witnessed the truth. Humans fight differently, endure longer, and rise stronger, their spirit a force the aliens could not predict or destroy, and Kane, exhausted but proud, looked at his team and knew that humanity's courage and loyalty had not only won the battle, but changed the perception of humans forever, leaving viewers on edge and inspired, realizing that the human spirit was the galaxy's most powerful weapon, and the suspense lingered as the story spread to distant worlds, showing that a species who refused to surrender could alter the course of wars, civilizations, and the galaxy itself, and the valley stood as a testament to the strength, determination, and ingenuity of humans who keep fighting long after others fall, proving that hope, courage, and teamwork are mightier than any weapon. And the audience was left amazed, inspired, and fully engaged, knowing that the human story of endurance and heroism had reshaped the galaxy's understanding of power forever.